Okay, let's get started on making our adorable angel macrame ornament dolls. It's super easy to make and they're just so cute. Everybody should have gotten a kit, and what we're going to do first is take everything out of the kit and just make sure that you have all of your supplies that you need. So while you're taking everything out of the kit and lay it out, I'm just going to explain how this tutorial is going to work. So making the doll can be broken down into 3 easy steps. And so what I'm going to do is first show you how to do one step, and then it will pause. And we'll pause with some pictures of like a reminder of the steps so that you can then do complete that step before we move on. And then that way we can all be making the doll together at the same time. Okay, so in your kit, you're going to find a whole bunch of white string. There should be a total of 20. If you want to take time to count that, you should have 20 of these white strings. They are going to make up the body of the angel, her little dress. Then for the brown string, this is going to be her hair. You should have a total of 10 brown strings. And it's totally okay if they're not perfectly like the same lengths, because after we put her together, one of the very last steps is trimming her, so it will make everything the length that you want. So that's okay, don't worry about that. Then you're going to have 2 gold strings. It's important that there should be 2 separate ones. One is going to be the cord that keeps the whole doll together, and then the other one's going to be part of giving her a belt and accessorizing her. Okay, and then you should have 1 bead for her head. You should have a set of her little angel wings. There should be 2 there. You should have a comb. This is going to comb out and make her all smooth and pretty. And then finally, you should have a heart with a white string tied around it in some way. This string is tied around the heart to keep separate from the body string, because this is going to be her arms in the end right here. So we want to keep it separate. So I'm going to keep this string tied around the heart just as it is and put it aside. Okay, so for the first step, what we're going to do is we're going to be making the body. So we're going to grab all of the white string, except for the one tied around the heart. That one I'm putting aside, don't touch that one. Take all the other 20 white strings, and I'm going to try and level them up as much as possible. You're going to have some that are a lot longer than other ones, and that's totally fine. But I want to get smack in the middle as close to possible for this part. And I'm going to use 1 gold string. Okay. So what I'm going to do is take my white thread, my white cord, fold it in half so I can find the exact middle, and fold it back over. I've got the gold string put right there. And then I'm going to take the gold string and fold it in half. And so I am tying it at the half part of the center part of the gold string and the center part of the white cord. And the trick at this point is to make a knot right here. So I'm just tying it, and I want to make a knot that is super, super tight. So if that's possible, that is the trick at this point. I'm trying to position the camera so you can see as much as possible, but I'm just doing like a really simple knot that we tie everything with. And I'm trying to make it as tight as possible as I do it. We want to take the comb, and we are going to comb out the string so that it looks like this, so that all the thread is unraveled. Sorry, there we go. So all of the thread is unraveled and combed. I'm just going to flip the string over on this side, and I'm going to hold it really tight with my comb. You have like the spaces, some are thinner and some are bigger. Try it out, see which one you like. But like I said, the trick is just to hold it really tight on the side that I'm not combing, and I'm going to start at the bottom and just kind of work my way up. And I am just going to go in double time now, so you don't have to watch this, but you can see what the goal is for you to get to the end of step 1. Okay, so everybody should be at this distance, the spot of having made the body. But if you're still trying to comb out the dress and you're not completely smooth, don't worry about it. What we're going to do is we are going to begin assembling the doll. And this step will work just probably the easiest if we just do it together. And once we assemble the doll, then we're going to pause again to comb out her hair. And you'll have some time there to finish combing out the body if you don't have it as smooth as you want, okay? And so let's go ahead and actually do this together with me. So go ahead and put the body aside and pull down your 10 strings of brown hair and the head. And then what we're going to do is you're going to separate your pile of hair. You're going to take one out and put it aside. Then you're going to count out 4 strands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. And put it aside. And that should leave you with 5 strands left. I'm going to put the 5 strands and the head, and I'm just going to kind of put it over here side because I'm going to assemble those together. And so right now, all that I'm working with are my 4 strands, and the 1 strand. And the goal here, what we're doing is we are going to tie at the very center of the pile of 4 strands with the 1 strand. So we are going to be tying it just like we did over here. We're going to want to tie at the center of the pile, at the center of the string. So I'm going to fold this in half to find the dead center. Put the string right there. And then I'm going to fold this up to find the center of the 1 string. I hope you can see this okay. I bet I can zoom in. And all I'm going to do here is I'm going to do 1 tie, 1 little knot. You know how you normally do 2 to make it to where it won't come undone? I'm just going to go through 1 time. The goal is to not have this part be super huge because I will show you really quick. We're going to glue it on the head right here. So it kind of has like a part look, but if I did a double knot, it would look giant. So it's better to have just like a little part look. So I'm going to tie this really tight, and then the glue will hold it in place. And so I'm going to put that aside for now because now we are going to assemble the doll. So I am going to, just to make this look as smooth by the head as possible, I'm just going to kind of comb her out. Okay. So now go ahead and grab the head, everybody. And what we are going to do is we're going to put the gold thread through this hole of the head. And it should go on super easy because it's nice and big. Okay. So it should look just like that. And how we are going to attach it is I'm going to put one of the strings down, and in between these strings we are going to lay the hair, and we're tying the hair on, and that's what keeps the head on. Okay, so before I do that, I want my hair, whoops, there we go, I snagged on my fingernail. I'm going to have the hair as kind of smooth as possible. Okay. Now I'm going to lay it, oh, I guess we should find the center again. Hope you can see what I'm doing. So I folded it in half so I can see that this is the center of the hair. So I want to put that right at the center of the head, on top of the head. And then I'm going to grab my gold strings, and I'm going to, before I tie it, just make sure that the hair lines up and looks pretty even. That looks gorgeous. And just like we tied the body as tight as could be, we're going to tie this hair as tight as can be. And this time I am going to double knot it because you don't want this to come undone. This is holding the head on. This is kind of keeping the angel to even look like an angel instead of just a bunch of string. There we go. What I'm going to do is have you comb this out. So you're going to want to take the gold string, because you don't want to comb it, and put it over on this side again and comb her hair out on this side. And then once all of this is smooth, flip the gold string over, comb out this side, and then once that's smooth, put her side and do it like this. Grab this, comb this out. Once that's smooth, grab this side and comb this out. And then that will be the end of step 2, and we'll only have one more step to go. Okay, so this hasn't been too hard, and now we are on the final step before you do whatever accessorizing you want to do to make your sweet angel doll unique to how you want it to look. So for this final step, we are going to be doing 4 things. We are going to be attaching the arms to her body. Then we're going to be using this other gold string to tie on her belt, as well as the wings on the back. Then we're going to go over to the hot glue table and we're going to glue on the back of her head and secure the wings and glue on the heart. Okay, so that's a lot, but it's really super simple. So at this point, go ahead and untie your white string. This is going to be her arms. And so we are going to tie a knot at the end of each side because that's her hands, are these little knots. So there's going to be one. And then come over here. And this also keeps it from fraying over time. And that's going to be number 2. Okay. So at this point, you may just want to watch me do this. Yeah, that's probably the best thing we need to do. How about I go ahead and just assemble her, and then I'll pause it with a picture of each step on the screen so that you guys can go about doing it and taking however long you need, because we only have so many hot glue guns for everybody. So at this point, I'm going to fold her arms in half and kind of set it aside. And then I'm going to open up. So since she's going to be facing me, this is her head. I want her arms to come out right here and right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of find the middle of her body and open it up. I think I'm going to go with right there is good. Okay. So looking at it again, yep, I think that will look good. Okay, so I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to just do a little hot glue across. And that's why I have the arms folded in half, so I can put that smack in the center like so. And then I can fold the body back over the arms like that. And I'm just going to kind of squeeze it. I'm going to take her little hands and pull her up towards her head so I can make it as tight as possible as it kind of glues in there. And then I can, while it's setting, comb her body back out to make her be one. Okay. So at this point, we are going to wrap the belt. And so we're going to want to take all of this, her hair, the gold string, her hands, and pull it upward. Take this other gold string, and this is going to be tied around to make both a belt and tie the wings onto the back. Then that way the wings don't fall off over time. I'm just combing and smoothing out her dress to make it as plain looking as possible. And I don't know if there's any one right or wrong way to do this, but we'll just start here And just kind of wrap it around. I think I want it higher, about right there. Okay, so I'd wrap it around 4 or 5 times. Three, I'm going to do it one more. And at this point, I'm going to tie a knot, and then I'm going to have plenty of string left over to tie the wings on. So I am going to do a double knot here. There's no reason not to. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay, so it's just tied on. You can see we have the little belt thing. And then now we're going to tie on the wings. And there are different kinds of wings, so you can figure out what ties best. But basically we're looking for something like this, where it's going to be tied on in the middle. And then we will use glue to keep it in place. So I'm going to have, I think that with these wings, it makes sense to tie it in this little hole right here. So again, I don't think there's any one right or wrong way to do this. I like tying them on and gluing, then that way the wings won't fall off over time when the hot glue gets old. So here we go. But then I like hot gluing because then it puts the wings exactly where I like them to be. Yeah, tie it 2 or 3 times. That's not going to come off. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and trim that now and put the gold aside. Go ahead and kind of bring the wings up to pop out of her hair as best as possible. We are now going to cover up this back part of her wings and her head by gluing on this little piece of hair. So I'm going to hold it at the knot and comb it out to make it look like one smooth piece as possible. Try to fill in where it wants to separate to try to make it look like the back of the head like this. Then I'm going to put the glue Okay. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and take this gold string and bring it together, and I'm going to tie it at a knot at the end so that we can, this is the little hanger of what makes her hang. You could do the same kind of doll tutorial without the string, and then you have a doll, which is how Abby and I learned how to make these little, we adapted, I'm going to cut this off at the end. We adapted a doll tutorial to make this, and so it's really fun. Okay, so I'm going to take her hair and divide it how I want so that we can start to make sense of her. She's kind of a wild child right now. There we goes. Bring her hair together. I don't quite want to comb it out yet because that glue is still holding. But while you're at the glue table after you got her hair done, you might as well go ahead and also glue on her heart, her hands. So what I like to do, well, first off, we need to comb out her dress so that when you glue everything, it helps keep everything in place because it was combed out to begin with. So I like to take her hands and glue her hands together first. Then I glue the heart on. But my daughter likes to just glue the heart into the hands. So again, there's no really one wrong or right way of doing this. It just helps them visualize. So I'm going to glue the hands together, little tiny dot. And that also makes it to where it falls on her dress in a certain place, which I like. Then you can figure out if you want your heart to be her hands holding it like that, or if you want it to be resting in her arms, which I like kind of in the middle to where you can see her hands too. So I like to put my heart kind of like that. And so after you figure that out, you can figure out where you're going to glue it. But again, it's just a matter of what you think is going to be the cutest, because there's no wrong or right way of doing this. It's just whatever you want. Okay, so once we get to this point, which is at the end of step 3, this is really exciting because we're pretty much almost done. So we're going to start to trim her up. I'm going to first trim her dress. She's already looking so much cleaner when you trim up that bottom. And then it's the same thing with the hair. I'm going to flip this gold yarn over. You can do what you want to accessorize her hair. And so this is what she would look like if you just left her as is, which some of these dolls I am loving just her hair down and straight. Here's one doll that was braided to the back, and you can glue a little gold bow on the back if you want. But this is what it would look like if you gave her like a little princess braid to the back. This doll, we twisted the yarn and brought it to the back so we could kind of try different hairdos like that. And then this doll, we were trying out what it'd look like if we just gave her a little low ponytail. So it has that loose look, but it's not so crazy as if it were to be left straight. So really there's, again, no right or wrong. You can decorate her hair how you wish, but there you have it. You made yourself your own little sweet macrame angel ornament.